How'd you go?
Yeah, is that better?
Yeah, it sounds a bit better. How's it on your
Okay.
side?
Yeah, no, much better now.
Cool. I put a link in the general chat.
Yeah.
How's it on your side?
Yeah, no, much better now.
Cool. I put a link in the general chat.
What is that to? Is that to the chat?
It's just a stream, so you can see my screen.
Ah, okay, cool.
Let me know if that
Cool,
worked
got
for
it
you.
there. Yeah,
You can see it? Ethereum chart?
yeah, got it.
Alright,
Got
cool.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, what I was saying before, when you were talking about Ethereum, you might want to mute the YouTube so you don't hear me twice as well.
Yeah, no, I've got it. I've got it muted, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Otherwise you get weird echo. But yeah, if you
Yeah,
you
they.
can see like the basic delays, I've just drawn some support and resistance lines in there, and you can see those by where it's bounced off of. Like you've got the first one here at around $140 for Ethereum. You can see
Yes.
when we first broke out of this part, I can even draw it.
Yeah, I see that.
When we started to break out going up this way, and then
Yes.
we came back down and retested. So that's about $140 support. So you know that's where your first support line is. And then we came back down and retested that recently. I think it was like last week on the 18th. We
Yeah.
retested that support. So we know that's definitely a solid support line where everyone says, "Yep, Ethereum is worth more than $140." And then we can see like a straight spike straight after every time we've hit that. Then we're looking at
Okay.
a few different lines above there, but more recently you bought at 220, so you would have bought around here when we came out of the support line, but then we fell back through it again and retested the 170 line. So that's why I was
Yes.
saying, like, we could see things up around here again eventually, like once we hit a bull market again, but most likely we'll move
Yes.
between these two lines until then, between
What
100
between
and
212 and
about, let's move that up a little bit. 215 probably would be more accurate because we're on a long time scale here. 215, and we shouldn't see 170, 175. Yep, about there. So we should move between there until probably September because Ethereum has a
already?
lot of news coming out in September.
Yeah.
They've got Metropolis and Casper and a lot of new things that are coming
Yes.
out. But with all the bad news from the failed ICOs, hacked wallets, whatnot, then we really should be lower than this, but just because it's Ethereum, it's being propped up. So yeah, like if you
Yeah.
bought it 120, there's not really any need to sell it. Like you can just hold it for a while. I don't see it going any lower than these support lines for now, but it depends on like how you want to do it. You said you want to play risky, so you could sell it for a small loss and use that capital to reinvest, or you can like you don't lose money until you sell, right? So
Yeah.
it depends how much you've put in there, I guess, as well.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for the time being just to keep it, I think.
Yeah. So you might see like a
Oh,
little
it's,
spike like this part again, where you could get out if you wanted to.
yeah, maybe just try and get out when it spikes again.
Yeah. You could definitely see like volatility like that happening, but it'll come up, test, push through a little bit, and then come back down again. So you'll probably get like a 117, a 120 rise again
What
after
what
sometime after
support
August
lines
1st.
is that? Is that Fibonacci lines?
No, Fibonacci lines are kind of not really used so much in well, Fib retracement's not really used so much in crypto, but if we put
Yeah.
that there, too high. Put that there. Oh,
Yeah.
similar thing. See, you can see like your top, you got your resist lines coming through here. I could even move this down. So you got your Fibonacci line on the 200 resist point. See, so when you push through there, you get up to this mark, and
Yes.
it will just bounce in between those. It's similar thing. Like you don't really actually need to put the Fibonacci thing on it to see what's happening. You can just look at
Okay.
past prices, look where the past resistances were, and you'll still get the same data out of it.
Okay.
But
And then for Bitcoin, you reckon wait for it to crash?
yeah, Bitcoin, if you look at this chart, it's like I think it's like a 1 year chart. Yeah, so it's a 1 year chart, and this is like the base trend line for that year. So for the past 7 years, we've been basically following this trend line. And then some people would speculate that we're going to come back to this trend line, and that's why you're seeing people say like $1,400 Bitcoin
Yes.
again and those kind of things. But what I believe is because of mass adoption and mainstream media, like more mainstream media catching up, I think we've changed. I think our trend has changed to a more exponential growth, which would be this line here. You can, and then it just starts from basically the start of your breakout around March-ish, and then we'll
Yeah.
follow this new trend line up here to go up this way, and then we'll probably like this is where we're at right now. Let me draw another line here so you can see about there. Where is this? So yeah, about 2005, we've got serious resistance. You can see it's like dancing around it a bit, and either side of it is mostly manipulation from whales. Like not too long ago, we saw $30 billion go back into Bitcoin in 3 days. So we know it's heavily
Sure.
manipulated. It's like in your face,
Yeah.
no hiding it. But that's why I think that we've changed trend line. I think the trend line is more exponential. And even if that's false, even if we are on this bottom trend line, this bottom trend line still gets us to $10,000 by 2020 per Bitcoin, which,
Okay.
I'm happy with that. If worst case
Yeah.
scenario is 10,000 by 2020, fairly happy with that one. So right now, I'm all in on Bitcoin because I want my BCC. Let's have a look at
Yeah.
what Bitcoin's doing
What
right
do you
now.
reckon is going to happen with that?
Fair few things could happen. I shouldn't put that on stream. Well, a few things are gonna happen. Like there's Bitcoin Cash. So basically, everyone's gonna get almost everyone is gonna get Bitcoin Cash for their Bitcoins, as you probably
Hmm.
know.
Yeah.
Some people are gonna support it, some people aren't. They're gonna take 5% of the mining power away from Bitcoin, which
Yes.
is very, very little. Most people are thinking it's just gonna be basically an ICO, but there's no such thing as a free lunch. So it had like
Yeah.
there's no new money coming into the crypto space, so it's gonna have to come from
From
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. So whatever that dollar value is gonna come from Bitcoin. But with everyone wanting to get, like everyone expecting their free lunch, then they're going all in on Bitcoin, taking all their money out of alts, which is why we're seeing the alt crashes right now.
Yes.
And yeah, it's all going into Bitcoin, which is good. I mean, for me, I think Bitcoin is going to pump in price before it goes. So like we're not really going to feel any sort of pain when BCC comes out because the Bitcoin price is already pumped to allow for that. So even if it takes
Yeah.
$100, $200 away from Bitcoin, that's fine. Bitcoin comes back
Doesn't
to
matter. Yeah.
its $2,500 trend line if we stay at 2008, which I think we're going to much higher than 2008.
Okay.
Show you
And
something interesting.
so what? Do you reckon get it now before it goes up, or
It's too
wait
late.
until it crashes? Too
Too
late
just
already.
slightly too late to come in now. 2,800 is where are we here?
Hi.
Yeah, 2,800 is like a really strong mental break for people. You can see even just looking at what happened over the past few minutes or the past few
Yeah.
hours, we really just rejected that. Okay, We really just rejected that line, that 2,800. Like people aren't ready to pay more than 2,800 for a Bitcoin just yet.
Yeah.
Okay, like this.
Okay, and then once this fork has taken place, do you reckon everyone's going to dump their Bitcoin? And I feel that it's
Yeah, I
gonna
mean, the
crash.
majority of people will dump their Bitcoin, but there's like interesting caveats to that because Bitmain, who are basically making the BCC fork, have a lot of money and have a lot of power. They have the ability to prop up BCC if they want to.
Okay.
Um, and then like another possibility is it could crash. Like who's gonna buy it? Like if everyone's saying, okay, we're gonna sell, and the only place to sell when it first comes out really is Kraken, then it's gonna be all the sellers on Kraken. Who's gonna buy it? So is it gonna flash crash down to, a dollar or 10 cents, or it's 50-50 speculation on what could possibly happen.
Yeah, I suppose.
If
And you say you mining Zen Cash?
Yeah, yeah, more like speculation mining. I think there's not much profit in like mining for what's good now, more to think about
Yeah.
what's gonna be good in the future.
Yeah. What is Zen GPU mining or ASIC mining?
Yeah, Zen's GPU miner, it's a fork of Zcash or Zcash
Yeah.
Classic. It's a decent team. They've got master node plans coming out. So like people holding Zen can run master nodes if you know how those work. Like you get paid a percentage of the transaction fees.
Yes, yes.
Like Dash specifically, there was one of the biggest masternode um, coins,
Okay.
which is basically like an investment type thing. It's still quite young of a coin. Have a look at this
What about Zen?
concerning Bitcoin. Sorry, what was that?
You say Zen is still young.
Yeah, Zen's less than 2 months old.
Oh, really? Okay.
Super young,
Still
but
young.
like it's straight on Bittrex. It's less than 2 months old, and the coin is already on trading on Bittrex. Has a solid community behind it. Is Zcash Classic fork, so it's a privacy coin. Which
Yes.
with all of these, all these hacks and things going on, then privacy is quite a big deal, I feel. So
Yes.
privacy, I think,
Yes.
is going to be the way things are moving. And I
Yes.
hope, Bitcoin adopts some of their, or some more privacy type things, because as you know, everyone can see everyone's transactions on Bitcoin, which is
Yeah.
good and bad at the same time. But have
True.
a look at this screen, or like the live stream.
Yeah.
This is right
I
now.
think I'm lagging a bit behind you.
Yeah, the stream might be a bit delayed.
I don't know, about a minute behind. Trying to catch up there, but
Which I think I turned all delays off. I'm not sure why it should still be. Might be built into YouTube or
it does
something.
say
The
live,
lag.
but
Oh yeah, you see BFX data? I just loaded it up. Let's see.
this thing's sitting on Bitcoin US dollar on Bitfinex.
You should see like a BFX data, some green and red and graphs and
Yeah,
things.
it's just come up. Just come up now. Yeah.
Okay. Let me try and look at stream options real quick.
Sorry, look at.
I'm just having a look at see if I can make that not happen. Like there is a delay. I can see it myself.
Okay.
See if there's any option I can find. Nope. Okay. Anyway, you can see how the green is longs. The like margin positions. Like how margin stuff's are. Like you borrow, you borrow money or you borrow Bitcoin from people on the exchange and pay a percentage, and then you use that
Yeah.
to place your position. So margin, called margin trading. And
Yeah.
basically, what the green and the red line is open margins. So you can see just a few days ago, some whales opened enormous shorts, like biggest shorts than have ever been opened before. Almost.
Yeah.
You can see this is all time on Bitcoin, and the solid line. is the price of Bitcoin, and
Yeah.
the red and green is margins. So let's go
Okay.
into
Yeah. So what they basically
what up 7 days.
loaned off their Bitcoin.
Let's see if I can find a better time frame here. Okay, so check this out. You see right here a lot of shorts opened. Where am I? See if it's catching up. Yeah. So right there, a lot of shorts opened up, and then the price rocketed, like straight up. Well, not really rocket, but exponential growth straight after all the shorts move. And then this is where all the shorts
Yeah.
get closed. They get stopped out because in order to close
Okay.
a short, it means you have to buy Bitcoin. In essence, in order for you to close this position, it means you have to buy Bitcoin in order to get out. It liquidates you. So this
Yes.
same thing is going to happen here, but in a much bigger way. Like you can see how small that is, and what
Yes.
happened. Then it got closed. How enormous that is. This is a 3 month scale. Like this isn't like this is a long period of time, and that's a huge short. And they've
Yeah.
done it in such a way that everyone's gonna see it. They want people to see this. This is like market
Okay.
manipulation at its finest. So
Yeah.
what's gonna happen is they're making people think they're shorting, but what they're doing is like a hedge. It's a hedge fund trick that they do. So what happens is when these short positions get closed, in order to close them, they buy Bitcoin. And what happens when you buy Bitcoin, supply and demand, the price goes up. So as these shorts
Yes.
get closed, excuse me, as these shorts get closed or as they get margin called out, it just pumps the price of Bitcoin. And as Bitcoin goes up on its own, as everyone else buys, everyone's selling their alts, they're buying Bitcoin for BCC. As we can see now, it's pushing 2008 again. It's trying to get there. So as the Bitcoin price goes up, like naturally from people trying to get their BCC, and it's going to close these shorts, which is going to cause a
Yes.
cascading effect and push it into buy pressure. And like at first glance, it looks like people are saying Bitcoin is going to go down, but what actually happens is it gets pushed way higher than it would naturally by having all these shorts open. So I mean, really could see like $3,500 Bitcoin in the next few days, but
Sure.
it's again it's 50-50. It's speculation on what could actually
No,
happen.
for
Only
sure.
the whales know.
Yeah.
Only
It's
the
true.
whales know what's actually going to happen with it. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen with Bitcoin in upcoming. But after that, what goes up must come down. Could be a massive flash crash, and that's your time to get in. Like a ridiculous flash crash. We could see all the way down to, depending on how manipulated it is and how bad it is. I mean, you could see all the way down to like $1,000 Bitcoin, $1,500
Yeah.
Bitcoin again.
Sure.
You could see if this trend line is, let me get this out of the way. I can't move any further. If this trend line is true, like the previous long-term trend line, even if you extend it up here, you're looking like $1,800 Bitcoin if we come down and hit it. 1,300, 1,400, and that's where your buy-in is. If we hit there, you need to be ready to throw everything in at that point. Absolutely
Yeah.
everything you want to put in to crypto. If we hit
Yeah.
here, all in straight away, no question about it. You hit like even below 2,000 is another massive resistance line. If we get around
So if
here,
it pushes below 2,000, it'll go
yeah,
well below that probably.
yeah. So you can see like how quickly we just blasted through. There's no real like lines or support or resistance or anything really
Yes.
happening in between here. But you can see this 2000 line is pretty solid. And then you've got your
Yes.
long-term trend line and the short and the if we have to change trend, like I believe that 2000 trend line is right there. So we'll pinch in this little triangle here. Most likely is where you're gonna get your little
Okay.
entry in. I don't know if I can draw a circle.
Okay. Interesting.
So like I guess around here.
And then in terms of the other altcoins, you
Altcoins are gonna
mentioned you've looked
bleed.
at EOS.
Oh, EOS. EOS is interesting. Do you want to talk about
Yeah.
EOS or you want to talk about altcoins like first?
Whichever interests you more.
Well, EOS I find probably the most interesting because it makes economic sense. It makes complete economic sense. Like starting off, the developers are amazing. The developers, or the main developer made Steemit and BitShares,
Mm.
which are both
Yeah.
the quickest coins out there, the fastest transaction times, and they can hold the most bandwidth. It makes
Yeah.
incredible economic sense to draw out their ICO over 12 months because
Yeah.
in order for like a coin to be used, it has to be evenly distributed. And an amazing idea and way to do that is to draw out your ICO over a year. But with crypto and like all the hacks and scams and shady things that are going on, people trying to get rich quick
Mm.
and stuff like that, a 1 year ICO, a lot of their coins have already been released as well. And how you get coins
Yeah.
from them, like how their ICO works, is it's not based on a dollar value. It just depends on the
Yeah.
day. So
The
they allot a
amount,
certain
yeah.
amount per day, and
Yeah.
whoever puts like 50, say you put 50% of the funds for that day, that means you get 50% of that day's shares release. So it's
Yes.
like there's no price really put on it, which is like economically it's genius, but
Yeah.
like psychologically, putting money into something that is a year
You
long
gotta.
ICO,
Yeah.
it could be amazing and it could make a lot of people very rich that got into it or get into it early. It's the technology is great behind it, but the year long ICO is, yeah, it's like a risk reward thing, I suppose.
Yeah. That's true. I
But
think I'll put a bit into it.
yeah, I also might put like some into after this. This is what I'm focused on now. The Bitcoin. If I call this right and I make a lot of money, I'll throw some into I'll throw some into EOS.
Okay. Cool. And have you looked at Skimcoin at all?
Skim, SKIN.
Skimcoin, yeah.
Let's see. I haven't. What is it about?
It's sort of like Steam, um, but its uses are far better. I think it's
For
skim
instantly
dot.
trading CS:GO, Dota skins, and making bets on esport events. Crowd sale has ended. Yeah, I mean, interesting concept. It's been done a fair few times now with a few different coins. These
Yeah.
the idea is good, but it all comes down to their marketing team, and how it goes from there. It's really like what it's 100% based, well, 95% based on is marketing, because there's
Yeah.
off the top of my head, there's at least 3 or 4 other coins that do this.
Yeah, I think that this is the same crowd that started Steam.
That started Steam.
Steam,
Really?
yeah.
Let's see.
So it's backed up by.
Can we find the founders? Like, all right, let's go through like a few little things when you're first looking at an ICO, right? First thing you want to do, so you find their
Mm-hmm.
website, right? Then you want to just open their GitHub and see how long ago the GitHub was last edited or last updated. So that's showing you how active the development is. Because when this gets
Yes.
updated, it means developers have changed something. So about a month to
Yes.
2 months ago was the last time they changed something, which is acceptable. It's fine. Like
Okay.
sometimes you click on that and it'll be like 2 years. You'll be like, huh? What? Like,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Also, what people do is they'll like just copy GitHubs from other people and things like that. But you'll usually be able to find that find that out in the community. So let's have a look at their Twitter. Twitter's a great place. So that's a good sign as well. Like just in Twitter in general, so you know they're not doing any sort of
Yeah.
follow for follow scam. So you got 12 following and 2,000 followers, which is usually a good sign.
Okay.
Well, it's not a good sign, but not a bad sign either.
Yeah.
They seem fairly active. So you want to look at how often they post, like just for in general on any ICO that you're looking at, because there's just so
Yeah.
many. Like there's ridiculous amount. There's no real way to tell which one's gonna do better than the other.
Yes.
other than their marketing team. Okay.
Yeah, that's a nice thing though. If you just put a bit into a couple of them, and hope that one hits it big.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, personally, I think a better way to go for that kind of strategy
Mm.
is not ICOs, because with ICOs you have no assurance that that coin will ever be sellable. Like it may never get accepted to an exchange. You may never be able to trade it. Of course, like in larger quantities. Of course, there's things like Shapeshift and smaller exchanges, Yobit, Cryptopia, things that will accept or like that will host smaller cap coins. But if
Yeah,
these ICOs don't get enough funding, then they don't come out with a product. I've noticed a lot of ICOs will release an ICO without even having any sort of product whatsoever. Like they're just like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah,
this is my idea, please fund it so I can like maybe do it later. Like, I mean, if they're getting millions of dollars for just for posting a website and
an
an
idea.
idea,
Yeah,
are they really going to follow through with that idea? Are they that committed to it? That's the kind of questions that I ask when I'm looking at ICOs. And is there a need for it? Is there another coin that's already doing this, that's already listing on an exchange? Like, if there's
okay,
already like, and then if so, what are they doing different? If nothing,
yeah,
then what is the point? Like, why is that going to have a value if they're not different in any way, shape, or form to an already established coin?
yeah. Okay, so what, you reckon stay away from them?
Especially now, yeah, ICOs I'd completely steer away from. The ICO boom has, and the ICO like profit time has kind of ended because, well, not ended, like it'll still happen, you'll still get profits, but it's not as easy as it was, where you could just like throw money into a bunch of different ICOs and one of them would 10x and cover all the other ones. You know,
Yes,
that kind of thing has slowly but surely dwindled down,
it's,
just
yeah,
mostly I think because there's not enough new money coming in. Mostly it's
okay,
older money at this moment, especially in the bear market.
okay, yeah,
But for the strategy of throwing money at throwing darts at a dartboard and just hoping one sticks, I would check out things like Cryptopia, which is it hosts massive amounts of coins, and you can buy and sell them. You can check different volumes. Like I have
yeah,
no idea what most I have no idea what most of these coins are. You could look into a few different ones, and these are
okay,
basically ICOs that have become, you know, that have gotten onto an exchange. At least you know you can sell it, right? At least you know
yeah,
it exists. At least you know it has. Also, you can check out wallets and things like that. Do they even have a wallet? You know, can I even get this
yeah.
off an exchange? You know, things like that. Let's have a quick look here. PiCoin, I've heard good things about.
Picoin,
I've seen a few different YouTube videos looking at that one. Um, what else have we got on here? See, you even have like normal coins like Digibyte, Verge, which is I actually bought some of Verge. It's actually a Dogecoin fork, which is kind of funny.
okay,
But yeah, I mean this is on Cryptopia is probably where I would hold personally maybe about 15% of a portfolio, and just have a bunch of different coins on here, and like I would research which coins you want and just like put a percentage into each one and just forget about it. Like
okay,
Chaincoin went nuts. That's not Chaincoin, but yeah, Chaincoin went nuts more recently because of like, a few different factors, but it was up like 1,000 or so percent.
yeah,
But the key is, I suppose, is to get into these coins before they pump, before it happens. So if you just spread around your money a bit on these ones, especially now, if you spread it around and hope that it pumps. See this is Chaincoin. If my screen's updated.
this is lagging a bit
Yep.
again.
Yeah, there we go. This is Chaincoin. So you see that huge pump, enormous pump here, and it just dumped back off again. Like it does nothing, like for this whole time. Like this is a like a nice pump and dump scenario. So it does nothing
Yeah,
forever. This little spike here, This is where the whales are accumulating. This is where they're buying in. All the whales are getting ready for this pump. All the marketers are getting ready. Everyone in the know is buying here, this little
Okay.
spike.
Yeah.
And then this is where they hammer the pump. They like hammer all their social media, they put all their posts out, put all their videos out, everyone that's involved, pumps it up
Yeah.
massively. And then everyone in the know most likely sold off like here, here or here, and then that's where you're seeing these big dump downs where everyone that was buying on the way up gets dumped on by these people down here. It's like typical pump and dump scheme, and then after everything, back to normal. Back to pretty much where it was before.
Crazy.
I mean, in this particular case, it's not too bad. Like, it's gone back to accumulation phase. So if you were in here and didn't sell around here, which some people do, so if you buy around this area and you didn't sell here, you're still, you're still break even by that line.
Yeah.
By about this point, starting to come a bit less than break even. But that's like a typical example of what happens on these smaller cap stocks. But yes, small cap just means they have a small amount of money currently circulating in it. Like this is,
Okay. Yeah.
let's see, the market cap. This so you got market caps of Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever. So that's huge
Mm.
numbers, right? So in order for you to
Yeah.
move that price around, you need a lot of money to do it. But if you
Yes.
come
Yeah.
down, even to this number 100 or number 99, it's 18 million, and that's over possibly a couple of exchanges. Let's look at Bitcoin specifically because that pumped recently. Yeah, so you've got 18 million spread out across a few exchanges, Poloniex, Bittrex, Cryptopia. That market cap is spread out. I mean,
Yes.
70% on Polo and about 30% on Bittrex, and you can see a lot of volatility on these smaller coins. So you can like play
Yeah.
around in there, but again, high risk. With for personally, I'm more of an investor. Like I'll put money in there
Yeah.
for like like a risky play, or like if I know something, or if I see Twitter news, or for example, if Viacoin, VIA, uh,
Yeah.
it's actually right there. They're trying to get Segwit right now, and if you were on their Slack, if you're on Via's Slack, you would have known that a few days before, because they say, hey guys, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and that's on their own channels. And if you had known that,
Yeah.
you would have been able to buy in around here. And then once the masses find out that oh, these guys are getting Segwit, blah blah blah, bang, straight up. But if you were in that space, if you had known beforehand, you could have bought here when everyone else was buying. Like, cause really, there's no reason to buy it. Like, this is flat, nothing. Like, no news, no nothing, flat for so long. Then they say, hey
Yeah.
guys, we're gonna implement Segwit, or whatever they said they're gonna do around here. People start buying, and then it actually happens, and everyone realizes, goes nuts on Twitter, price rockets, and then dumps back down again. But even then, didn't dump back as much as the people were here. Like this is FOMO basically. You get to about this point, around the middle of that peak, and you get FOMO. People worried that they're gonna miss out on something.
Yeah. That's the biggest problem is waiting
Yeah.
a little bit too long, or a little bit too short.
Show you something here. Pull up something else. Have you seen this before? I'll wait until it comes up on YouTube.
I'm a bit behind you there.
It's alright. I'm watching. There we go.
Alright.
Oh, it's gone. Hang on.
Grows.
1 second. I'm gonna have to fix the YouTube delay. All right. So you see Wall Street cheat sheet. This is probably the one, and this is probably the biggest resource and the biggest help to you if you're gonna be a day trader. If you wanna, get in and out of the market, swing trade. Like if you want to swing trade, this is what you need to stare at and get into your brain
Yes.
and use it on yourself, basically, right? So we'll go through a little bit of it. So you can put this on any time frame, right? You can put this on Bitcoin time frame. You can put this on like a long time frame, short time frame. You can put it on VIA, if I could make it
Yeah.
smaller. But basically, it's the same thing. It's a pump and dump. So what I like to do is, if I'm getting in, I'm in here, I'm in at this area or this area. You know, I've heard some news, or I'm in their Slack, or I like the coin, whatever the case may be. I bought around here. More people
Yeah.
start buying in, the news starts to become widespread. It becomes belief. Time to get fully invested. Everyone's like, this is a great coin. This is going up. Blah blah blah. Everyone's gonna buy. And then thrill. When you're in a state of thrill, I will buy more, margin, tell your friends, call your family, you're making loads of money, you're super happy, right? This is where I sell. As soon as I feel this, I'm like, sell now. Like, as soon as I
Okay.
can feel to myself, oh my god, this is great, blah 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 blah, I'll
Get rid of it.
look over at my chart, be like, get rid of it now because you're in thrill, you know. And then you've got euphoria. I'm a genius. We're all going to be rich, you know. And then everyone, the rest of the people are like, nope, gonna sell. Complacency. Yeah, we just need to cool off. Let people. The complacency could also happen. Like, see around here as well. This is like a bounce. So you'll always see this. You'll always see like a peak up, and then it'll pull back a little bit on there, and then you'll either get a hard bounce if it's a retrace, or you'll get what's here is called a dead cat bounce. I don't know why it's called a dead cat, but I guess dead cats don't bounce very high. I mean, like, whoever figured that out, I don't want to know. But it basically means it's bounced less than 30% or less than the initial
Okay.
peak. So if it bounces more than here, then it's called a trend reversal, and it'll go straight back up. That's 50% or more. But most of the time, especially in a bear market, well, 99.8% of the time in a bear market, it's going to be a dead cat bounce here. So you realize if you waited too long, you realize it's a dead cat bounce, hold on for a little bit longer, sell out here and lick your wounds, kind of thing. So you
Yeah.
can, you know, like, these are the
Like
two
when it
chances you
comes
get.
back up a bit.
Yeah, these are the two chances that you get. Otherwise, you're going to be holding all the way back. Like, because this is a circle, right? You could put this on, it goes all the way back around to here again, eventually.
Yeah.
All markets are just cycles. But this chart is definitely a great resource and just something to keep in mind at all times when you're trading actively.
This is coin market cap.
For what?
Which chart you're referring to?
Oh, the Wall Street cheat sheet.
Okay. Yeah, I'm busy seeing on coin market cap at the moment
Oh,
on the video.
it didn't update to Wall Street for you?
No.
Really? Hang on.
No.
It did on my YouTube. Okay, hang on. Let me I'll send it to you in a message so you can see what I was talking about.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks.
Actually, I'll put it in the general chat so everyone else can see. I think there's some other people watching as well.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
so
good idea.
it's in the general chat there. You can also find
Yeah,
it
I
on
got it.
Google. Well, like, if you just type in Wall Street charts, or uh, there's some quite cool charts on there that also show you different things that are. You can just put them on. I like because you can put them onto every single chart every single time, and it works out every time.
Yeah, I think I'm still behind you.
If you click on YouTube and just scroll scroll the little bar up so it's live.
The progress bar, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets there every so often and then runs away.
Yeah. They've also got charts like this. I'll send you a link. I don't have this one saved. But it's a similar idea. You know, you've got optimism, excitement, thrill, euphoria, and on the way up. Then on the way back down, you feel anxiety, denial. You know, anxiety is like, oh, it's coming down. Am I okay? But denial, it'll be fine. You know, it'll be okay. Fear, oh, I've messed up. I should have sold before. Depression, it's too late now. Panic, oh, it's going down really far. How am I supposed to sell? Do I hold? What do I do? And then you're like, oh, maybe just the markets aren't for me. This particular one's got, then you're at the bottom. Depression, giving up. You don't want to sell because you've lost too much already, and then you're sitting there holding, but you don't know what's going to happen. And then eventually one day the market will cycle again and come back up again.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in an extreme bear market right now.
Yeah,
It has been
it's
for a few
crazy. It's been
months.
completely dead,
Yeah.
completely flat. And especially Ethereum, it's just done nothing.
Yeah, well, Ethereum's had a lot of, put it this way.
Pro-
Someone said on Twitter, so a very smart person on Twitter said, if Bitcoin had the same news and the same problems Ethereum has lately, it would be worth like $2,000 right now. With the amount
oh,
of
really?
things that Ethereum has gone through, there's been a multi-sig hack where a black hat hacker got $40 million from people's
Yeah.
wallets worth of Ethereum. You
Crazy.
know, there's so many different problems going through Ethereum right now. The SEC just started to say, hey, we're gonna monitor
Yeah.
we're gonna monitor ICOs. Even
Yeah,
like
they
and
consider it security now.
yeah, like regulation is starting to come in, which is good and bad at the same time. I think regulation can be a really positive thing for the space, depending on what
Yeah, well,
country
I
you're
mean,
in.
it's
I
going to
think
get rid of all of the chances, won't it?
yeah, like I like regulation. If regulation can come in and do its job correctly, then it will make the space better, not worse.
Yeah, but that's a long road.
Yeah, it's a long way off. But for now, like right now, just keep your all eyes on Bitcoin and like really watch it. There's so much going on just with Bitcoin alone. Never mind talking
Yeah,
about
it's been
alts and
crazy.
Ethereum and mining and all these other things that you can do with crypto. Just
Yeah,
the
it's an
mothership
exciting
is
time.
about to take off.
Well, hopefully I get on when it's about to take off.
Yeah,
And get out when it's sky high.
yeah. Well, some people are speculating. There's two camps, I suppose. Some people are expecting a huge pump then dump. Some people are expecting just a huge dump. So I'm in the pump then dump um, pool of people,
Okay.
and it
Well, I
depends
suppose
on what the price
time will.
does, whether I'll sell or not. Because I might even sell like you need to be flexible in trading. Like I might even sell before I get my BCC if it rockets up to 2,300 roughly dollars. I'll sell. I won't care about the BCC by
Yeah,
that
well,
point.
that's not worth it, is it?
Yeah, well, could be. It could be
I'll
a
buy
huge
some
mistake.
BCC afterwards.
Yeah, it could be a huge mistake, or it could be the right thing to do. But hindsight being 2020, we don't
Hindsight,
really
yeah.
know until that happens.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah,
Oh, I suppose we'll see what happens, yeah.
pretty much. Keep your eye for you personally. What you were telling me on PM. Yeah, just keep an eye on
Yeah,
Bitcoin, and get ready with your stack to throw it into Bitcoin, and then once you're in Bitcoin, we can go from there. Really, we can go from like looking at portfolios, looking at like a time frame on when you want to get things out. Dividing up your portfolio into long, short, medium, long holds, and then high risk, low risk, medium risk, different balances
yeah,
on each one just to get yourself stable. So you want your long holds to pay for any short term losses that you may get while trading,
yeah,
which
it's
is how
true.
I try and
Yeah,
structure things out to be like that.
okay. All right, but yeah, we must chat a bit more along the lines of setting a couple of things up.
Yeah, definitely,
Sounds quite interesting.
definitely. I'll
Cool.
close my screen off now. And
Okay.
yeah.
I think it'll only close on my side in about